Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our service is about to commence. I just ask if you've brought a mobile phone in with you, just make sure it's on silent or switched off. Thank you very much.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender It's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes the chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong, just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snows, lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brad Webber, and my role here today is to help you all celebrate the life of and pay tribute to the late Phyllis Cicely Dixon. Now, Phyllis passed away on the 16th of June at 88 years of age. So on behalf of all of Phyllis's family, thank you so much for your presence here this afternoon. The family wish to say a huge thank you, whether you've travelled from near or far to be here today. Thank you all so much for coming to say your farewells, and of course to pay tribute to Phyllis's life. For those that have joined us online this afternoon, the family would also like to say thank you for taking time out of your day and joining us with your online presence. As much as your thoughts and prayers are with us here in the chapel, saying farewell this afternoon, we'd also like to let it be known that we're also thinking of you having to say your farewells through a computer screen this afternoon. So again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm going to ask Vicky to come forward. She's going to share some thoughts and memories.
I am here today to tell you a little about Mum's life. After being born at a small country hospital in Wyong on the 24th of February 1934, Mum was christened Phyllis Cicely Sternbeck. Phyllis also had two sisters, Iris and Muriel. Sadly, Muriel died when she was only 2.5 years of age. When Mum was at school age, she attended the one-teacher school at Ravensdale in the Yarmalong Valley. Phyllis then moved on to Wyong High School. Unfortunately, she only completed 1 full year of high school. Mum was growing up on a dairy farm and was certainly used to hard work. So after her mother died suddenly, when Mum was aged 14, Mum left school and went to work. She worked as a cook and a housekeeper in a hotel and guest house. Mum still remembered the hard work of polishing floors on your hands and knees. In her younger years, Mum enjoyed playing tennis and going to the local country dances. During her later teenage years, Mum formed a relationship with a young man named Norm, who lived in the same valley. Norm and Phyllis married at a young age and went on to have 4 children: Ron, myself, Vicky, Kerry and Anne. From this marriage grew many grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Mum so enjoyed becoming a grandparent. In the years after her children were mostly grown, Mum involved herself in charity work at a local church, This was a wonderful time in Mum's life. Unfortunately, Dad contracted cancer just as he planned to retire. During Dad's last 15 years, he had many health challenges. Mum was by his side and even needed to nurse him in his last months. This was an enormous sacrifice, but Mum did it gladly so as to enable Dad to stay in his own home. As a family, we remain eternally grateful to Mum for everything she did. Mum just loved to knit. In her later years, she knitted many beautiful items to donate to charity. She most always had her knitting bag close at hand. She only stopped knitting a few months ago. At the age of 88, her knitting remained at the high standard it had always been and was beautifully done. When Mum was in her early 80s, she moved to live in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales. She very much enjoyed going for drives in the beautiful countryside that the Highlands has to offer. With the changing of the seasons, Mum always said that there was something lovely to see around every corner. This could be a lovely old timber cottage or a beautiful garden. This move enabled Mum to spend numerous hours with her two youngest great-grandsons who were born after her move there, and they live close by. Mum was known to be down on the floor playing with them even in her early 80s. Over the years, Mum was known to take in ironing for a little extra money. If Mum said she didn't see any end to her ironing pile, Dad would always respond by telling her that she'd probably still be ironing when she went to heaven, and it'd be even worse because all the angels would all need their wings to be starched and ironed. So I think we should all keep our fingers crossed that they've moved on to an easier care fabric. Mum was a quiet, shy, reserved person, but she maintained several friendships which were formed in her younger years, and we are very fortunate to have some of these people here with us today. Mum enjoyed good health for most of her 88 years, but in the last few months she had grown very tired. She passed away peacefully whilst in care, and staff had become very attached to Mum during her time there. When Mum moved into the nursing home, she joined a number of activities, including pedalling on a recumbent bike. Mum was their star resident, managing to accumulate the most distance pedalled out of all residents in the two nursing homes. She was awarded a lovely certificate and a gold medal for her efforts. Mum was thrilled beyond words. We're all feeling a little sad today, but it was Mum's time to leave. We are very fortunate to have many lovely memories to hold in our hearts.
Thank you, Vicky. Emma, are you right to come and share?
Today we come together to mourn the loss and celebrate the life of Phyllis, but to many of us, we've only ever known her as Nana. Nana to 12 grandchildren and 18 great-grandchildren that not only brought love to our lives, but impacted each of our upbringings in so many ways. Today, as we look back and reflect on the life that she had, we remember the memories we will always treasure of her and will always hold dear to us forever. Going to Nan and Pop's house was never a chore. It often entailed a visit to the corner store or treats from some sneaky biscuits, minties or Freddo Frogs you always had in the cupboard. In the kitchen, you always had a special cup with your name on it ready, and she often had golden syrup dumplings boiling on the stove for dessert. Her kitchen was the place to be of a night time, with many memories of picnics on the floor, often getting to have McDonald's treat while watching the little TV on the bench, while the grown-up kids and adults ate at the big dining table in the living room. Chinese food, the food of choice. You always knew when you were in trouble. I'll start again. You always knew when you're in trouble when she'd yell out after you, "By jingos, I'll get my slipper." I don't ever remember her ever falling through with that, though. I can't speak for everyone. But she certainly had us fooled and convinced that she would. She was extremely convincing. We were always getting into trouble for swinging on the clothesline and bending it. It always had this lovely kink in the middle of it. We remember getting sent out to play with Pop in the garage, where we would get to draw on his special blackboard. Playing hide and seek in the backyard and behind the woodshed was always a hit, as were the pretend video productions we used to make up together with our cousins. We remember fondly the celebrations we had together, the many Christmases we got to spend at Nan and Pop's, the Christmas dinners and the opening of presents. When the family got together for any event, there were always a tribe of kids around, and you could always count on Nana to be in the mix with all of us. We remember the special events and adventures that she went on with us, from going to Queensland with the McPhee family, even travelling to Fiji with Auntie Anne. When she moved to the Highlands area, she got to fulfill a lifelong wish, going on a steam train ride in a vintage steam engine. The look of delight and the reminiscing of childhood memories she spoke of for days. When we think of Nana, we picture her purple patchwork knitting bag sitting next to her chair, her knitting needles and wool in hand. She was always creating something. Too many bed socks, baby jackets, booties and scarves to count, that she made for her grandchildren and great-grandchildren and others as well. She always had a cup of tea close by too. We think of the crunching sound the rocks made on her driveway, which meant someone had turned up at her house, or the distinctive click sound of the gate. We remember Nana and Poppy standing at the end of the wisteria-covered veranda, waving us off at any time we left. There was only one downside to staying at Nana's, or visiting at Nana's house: her beloved cat, Tabitha. The thing was petrifying, let's be honest. It didn't have a nice bone in its body. It lied in wait in the hallway, waiting for you to need to go to the toilet, ready to hiss at you and scare you beyond measure. Or even worse, when it was sitting on one of the chairs at the dining table when you went to go sit down. Nana loved her though. In her later years, she loved her dog Sophie. Nana couldn't move a muscle without Sophie being right on top of her. She followed her around everywhere. They were like little kindred spirits. As we remember Nana, we remember the woman who knew everything about the news and the weather. She could tell you everything because she watched every version possible every day of the week. It was like background music that was always on. When you picture Nana's house, you see the big dresser in the kitchen area where she displayed photos of her children, her grandchildren, and even her great-grandchildren proudly for all to see. The picture of the men on the wooden log behind the TV and the noisy clock behind the fire. There were the big floor cushions you could always fight over, and the itchy woolen blankets she used to put on your bed. We will also remember her fondness for being a sweet tooth. She loved anything caramel. We remember fondly the lessons she taught us and the kindness she always showed, for taking us on special outings to teaching us new skills like to sew, play solitaire and other games. For many of her grandchildren, we got to experience a new special kind of love with Nana, the love she had for her great-grandchildren. No matter who she spoke to, somehow she managed to work it into conversation how many of those she actually had. The look in her eyes when she looked at her great-grandchildren was just something special. She gave the best cuddles and was always up for a play, get up and dance and even pretend, always making sure they were having fun. Even recently dancing with Harrison and Hayden to Bluey on the TV. Today we say farewell to a wonderful woman, one that we will all miss dearly. From all your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, those who are with us, those far away, and those who may come to be, we say we love you, Nana.
Thank you for sharing, Emma. We're going to pause the service now. Excuse me. We're going to pause the service now for a few moments and put some images up on the screen from Phyllis's life. You've each arrived today carrying your own memories of Phyllis. You've all shared a moment, a time, a place. What this does now, it gives you an opportunity to grab some more memories, add them to the ones that you've arrived with today, and leave with an even bigger picture of Phyllis's life.
All your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction. Oh, beautiful release. Memories seep from my veins. Let me be empty vultures and thieves at your back. Storm keeps on twisting. Keep on building the lies that you make up for all that you lack. It don't make no difference. Escape one last time. It's easier to believe in this sweet madness, all this glorious sadness that brings me to my knees. In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you fear. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. In the arms of the angel, may you find some comfort here. You're in the arms of the angel, may you find some comfort here.
When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they steal your heart away. As I was walking down Broadway, not intending to stay very long, when who should I meet but this pretty fair maid as she came tripping along. What she pulled out of her pocket and slipped it right into my hand. On the very first day that I met her, bad luck to her black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, you would think she was queen of the land. And her hair, it's hung over her shoulders, tied up with the black velvet band. There's one fair county in Ireland, with memories so glorious and grand, where nature has lavished its bounty. It's the orchard of Erin's green land. I love its cathedrals and city, once founded by Patrick so true, and it bears in the heart of its bosom the ashes of Brian Boru. It's my own Irish home, far across the foam, although I've often left it in foreign lands to roam. No matter where I wander, through cities near or far, my heart's at home in old Ireland, in the county of Armagh. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning in spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, You can hear the angels sing when Irish hearts are happy. All the world seems bright and gay. And when Irish eyes are smiling, should they steal your heart away? And when Irish eyes are smiling, should they steal your heart away?
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I will never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met, no doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I go black and blue, I go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. On the rolling sea and on the highway of regret, the winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. I could make you happy, make your dreams come true. Nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love.
That concludes our chapel portion of today's service. The family will shortly be heading across to Gillaby Cemetery, where we will be laying Phyllis to rest. Now, once we do conclude at the cemetery, the family is going to be heading to Wyong Bowling Club. If anyone would prefer not to come to the cemetery, that's quite okay. If you'd like to head straight to the bowling club, that's fine by the family, and they'll join you there as soon as they can. We'll shortly ask you all to stand. I'm going to ask all the pallbearers to come forward. If all the girls could come forward, please, that would be great. Put our final piece of music on. Thanks, Matt.
am down, and oh, my soul so weary. When troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Stormy seas, I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up